Hello, everybody. There is 40 of you that I see. Welcome to all of you. This is Ruxana from CLT, and I have Suleiman as the manager of CLT, who is also the host for the Zoom meeting today. So Suleiman, over to you very quickly for some of the netiquette.
Hello everyone. Just to mention few things before we start this webinar. If your internet connection is not good, then please keep your video turned off. Keep yourself mute and unmute only if you have a question to ask, but during the Q&A session. Do leave your comments and questions in the chat box. Your questions will be answered. And we are recording this session and we will also upload it on YouTube. Thank you.
Thank you, Suleiman. Thank you. Today's webinar is again on assessments, and it's assessments on Moodle. As you all know that we have been trying to get Moodle as the basic LMS of FCC since many years now. And we are lucky that it was up and running thanks to ITS. And when the opportunity came, we were able to move on to Moodle without too much trouble. So we have, while we were all working on Moodle, but we had not a lot of us had started using Moodle. There were very few like Shinho, Bob Wetmore, I think if I'm Ryan, and I think there were some more that started using Moodle much before everybody else. And they were a pilot group in reforming the Moodle interface that you see now. And it is now continuously being developed by ITS with the questions and queries that comes from you, or hitches or glitches that happen in the system. You point it out, and ITS immediately puts the interface into the form that is more user-friendly for you. And so now I know that we have reached a point where Moodle is very, very friendly and quite easy for people who start using it, and they find actually that it's easy to use despite thinking that it might be difficult. We have lots of people talk about assessments, and that's been an issue throughout in the education debate as to how to do assessments, how to do transparent assessments, how to do fair assessments, and so on and so forth. And to date, we keep on getting requests from you to have more sessions on Moodle. So this is literally one of our last. We have already, I think, done 2 on Moodle before, and we had a Q&A with Gloria Caleb on assessments for spring 2020 yesterday, where a lot of you were able to clarify your concerns regarding how to go about assessments as a FCC sort of SOPs or protocols. And so in keeping with that, I think Shinho for today will be a remarkable session, because he's going to share his experience about how he has used Moodle for his assessments. And he is very, very happy with the quiz that he uses on Moodle. He shares some tips how to make good quizzes on Moodle. And we have also requested him to add some more and how he has used Moodle to help him grade his students as we come towards the close of the spring semester. So Shinho, over to you, and with immense thanks. Just very quickly to say that you are an associate professor in the Department of Environmental Sciences. You have served 7 years and more at Korea, and you have been a volunteer at National Institute of Health Islamabad way back in 1999 to 2002. Now I see why you decided to come back to Pakistan, because you had that initial idea about what we were about. You have also worked in Kabul Polytechnic and their hospital, and you have been working largely in the environment and energy division in Korea till recently before you came to FCC. And your research interests are wastewater treatment, development of performance indicators of water supply system, and you're currently doing research precisely in that area. Thank Thank you so much, Shinho, and a privilege to have you with us at FCC and a joy to have you with us at this forum. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruxana. It is a really good time, and I'm so happy to be here. And thank you so much for invitation to talk something that is not the great things, but I want to share some of my experience. I hope that will be helpful for many people. But I can say I'm not an expert on it, but I have some more experience, so I'm going to share it. I want to share my screen, right? And okay. Can you see the PowerPoint file? Everybody, can you see?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
it's very
okay.
clear.
Okay, then today I'm going to cover two things related to both, and also assessment and grading by Moodle. I'm using Moodle assessment. Yeah, actually it is because there is no alternative than this right now. So it is a kind of the alternative to offline exams. And I try to search some other option, but no quiz function in Google Classrooms. Maybe somebody can utilize it, but I could not find a good function there. So I decided to use the Moodle, the function here, Moodle features for the assessment and grading. And there is an easiness of grading. The grading is really easy in Moodle. If we use the Moodle quiz and Moodle assignment, it can save our time. And even we give the papers exams, we have to the grade with the several hours, but it can be done automatically, except some questions that need manual the grading. So easiness grading is one of the reason that I'm using. And another one is the transparency and interaction with the student. Most of the students, whenever they submit some assignment or they finish their exam, they want to see their result as quickly as possible. And many students want to see their result, but it is not quite easy for us at the moment that after finishing the assignment, if we have to let them know what is their result. So by email or by some other ways, we have to send them. If there are many students, and then the sending one by one is also not easy. Some of the instructors are sending all the results together at once to all the students. It may create some of the privacy issue as well. But in Moodles, result of the assessment and grading and feedbacks are shown to the student immediately with keeping the privacy. Only various options available. Still, I'm searching for it. I'm thinking about it. There are many more than what I know right now. And shuffling the question and choices and negative marking and many various options is available. So everybody can look into it and they can utilize it much better than me if they are interested in. So this is why I'm using the Moodle assessment. And today what I'm going to talk is mainly two things. Setting for the grade books, how to use the grade functions in the Moodle, and some important setting for quiz. I found some of the very important things. Many people, they use their Moodle for the making quiz, but if we do not set it carefully, there will be a quite risky of the happening of some unfairness thing happen. So I will tell you later. For your information, grading through Moodle is not actually compulsory. Actually, you can do it through the Excel, but if you are using the Excel at high level, Moodle gradebook is not better than Excel, I can say. But however, Moodle also provide good aggregation method to complete the grading job even without Excel. So that is quite good things, and it is useful to increase the interaction with the student. So how to set the gradebook? First, I'm going to show you. For example, with the example, I'm going to show grading structures is set like this. For example, attendance and assignment and quiz and midterm and final and any other activities. in the table, under the table, that is the example of the my course, 10% attendance and 10% assignment, and lab activity report 10%, and quiz 15%, midterm exam 25%, final exam 30%. Then you can see this structure in more detail. You see attendance, I checked total mark 60 because one of the my course has the 4 class per week and 15 week. So total will be 60. And assignment category, I actually gave the student 5 assignment. So, and I marked them the maximum, the 10. So total will become 50. And activities, I gave them 7 activities, and then I marked them the maximum mark is different, and total become 48. And midterm exam and 35 maximum, and final exam maximum 40. But when you see this, those category that does not have any other subcategory, sub-item is considered, is called the grade item in Moodle grading book. It is called as a grade item. And assignment, like assignment, there is a subcategory, sub-items that contain sub-item is called grade category. We have to understand the terminology which is used in the Moodle. So this is, each individual assignment is called grade items, and all together is called grade assignment, that is called grade category. And activity also category, and individual activities are called grade item, and quiz is one of the category, and quiz 1, quiz 2, individual quiz is grade item, and midterm exam, final exam don't need to have the sub items, so it is called grade items. So total will be actually 303, but actually this aggregation is actually it's not what we want. Actually, we want to make it 100 with the weightage of the 10% and 10% assignment, 10% attendance, 10% activities, 15% quiz, midterm exam 25%, and final exam 30%. Will make total 100. We want to use weightages like that. That can be done through the Moodle gradebook. So it is quite helpful. So when you click gradebook in the left corners, left menu, and you can see the gradebook setup, and then you click the setup tab, and then you can see some screen. In the beginning, it is empty, but when you scroll down, then you can see the button, 2 buttons, add category button and add grade item button. In order to add the category of the grading structure, so you click this, and then you type here as a grade category. In my examples, assignment, activity, and quiz is a kind of the category, and attendance and midterm final is not the category. So you don't enter this, only one by one you add it, and you don't need to look into the other things. And after adding the category, whenever you want to add any grading component done outside of Moodle, you just add the grade item from here. Those grade item that is done through the Moodle, you don't need to add it. It can appear that automatically. It can appear in the gradebook automatically, and you can just select that item. For example, quiz 2 is shown here. Quiz 2 is shown here. That quiz 2, I want to bring this under the category of the quiz, then we can just move it. It appears automatically. I did not add it, but it appeared. Then we can just move it. So after adding the category, you can add a grade item. The item that should be done outside the Moodles, any others, which is done in offline. So first of all, you see, if you want to add the grade category, this is grade item. Yes, grade item. You put the name here, activities or assignment, and you add the name. and maximum grade you can put, you can add a maximum grade, and then you, in the screen below, there is a parent category. If you create the category name, it will appear here, and you can select one of the category. This item belong to this category. You can select, and you can save it. And then when you have some grade item that appear automatically, but I want to bring this item to the category, this category, then you select the checkbox here, and then in the below the screen there is the menu that you can select the category, and when you move it, then this grade item move under this category. You can set it, and then all the structures maybe appears. If you spend some time, then you will understand that just watching this screen may be not easy to understand everything, but if you do it by yourself, you can understand that. And later, if you have some other question, then I'm happy to answer and let you know. And you see, this is the example of my activity category, and one activity category is here, and these 4, activity 0, 1, 2, 4. I did this activity offline already, so it is not done in the Moodle. So I created this category, these items, by clicking the button that I mentioned earlier, and this activities is done through the Moodle. So it appears automatically. Just I brought this item under this category, and here's I graded maximum 10. Maximum 10 real mark is shown automatically here, and then total marks. Actually, total mark is 80, but I don't want to give 80 for this. So this is the 15. 15 is the weightage of the activity. So when you put the 15, total 80 will be automatically converted to the 15 to make a final grade. So the aggregation with the weightages can be done through the Moodle so easily. And there is another the important things. Import data. When you do any activities or grade items outside the Moodle, we should be able to bring it to the Moodle to aggregate all together. So there is the functions. It is amazing. I found it very amazing. When you click the import menu, there are 3 different the method to import it. Through the CSV file, you can import it, but paste from the spreadsheet is quite amazing. There is an empty box. There is an empty box. You bring the data here, and from the Excel by Control C and Control V, and then you click this the upload grade, and then it will be uploaded. So, see this in the Excel. In the Excel, if you made a grade already for the activity 0, 1, 2, 4 in the Excel. If you made the grade like this, because it is not done in the Moodles, and you did it by yourself and manually, and you edit, and then you can copy this. You can copy this from the B1 cell to this H and all the data. So you select it, including column title, column name. Including column name, you copy it. But here's very important thing is you have to add the email as well. Email, because in the Moodles, I could not find that how to match the roll numbers. There is no option for the matching the roll numbers. So instead of using roll numbers, matching name is also difficult. Sometimes the student using different name, or the space issue or comma issues, and some other different name exist. So using the email, FC email, using FC email, if you put the FC email here, and just copy it, Control C it, and you bring back here, you just click here and Control V it, and then you upload it, then the screen appears, the data is uploaded, and then you have to match the map from the email that is data name in the Excel, sorry, and the data name in the Moodles, you match this email and email address, and then activity 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you match this column here. The activity 0 will go to, I didn't set it, activity 1. Here's activity 1 will go to the activity 1, the work for others, and activity 2 will go to the activity 2 population, like this. After selecting this menu, if you upload it, all the data is smoothly, without errors, will be uploaded. So import is quite easy. Import is not that difficult, but in case there is a spelling mistake or the typing errors, it showed errors. So be careful to type the email address exactly. And this is the assignment. Everybody, I think they know that how to set the assignment. So when we add the activity as a assignment as a one activities, it will appear as a one of the grade item in the grade book automatically. Assignment appears in the grade book automatically as a grade item. So I'm showing you the menu, how to set it, but it is not difficult. So you can do it and you can spend some time if you didn't do before, but you can do it. And here's some useful tip is, if we set the due date well, and receiving the assignment through Moodle is quite easy, because it shows students submitted on time or they submitted late, and it is much easier than receiving through the email. And here's one useful option is selection of the file type. Sometimes students are sending the file which I cannot open in my computer. So I just limit the acceptable the file type. For example, DOCX, Microsoft document only. So that the students are forced to make their the assignment in that format. So that is quite useful. And maximum grade, here's if I set, and this maximum grade will appear the grade book. And if you set already the category, grade category, you can select here this assignment belong to what category. So grade category will appear under the grade category in the grade book. So it is quite useful. Otherwise, you have to spend some more time to manually bring it to the grade book again. So if you do it here, it is quite useful. And assignment, giving the feedback and giving grade for the assignment, that is quite easy, not difficult. So I don't want to spend more time on it. And the lastly, I want to mention about the quiz and midterm and final exam. All of them are called as the assignment, but in the Moodles, all of them can be done by quiz function as one of the activities. Through the quiz, actually the quiz and midterm final exam, all of them can be done. So a very important thing is the basic setting. So I want to show you. So before starting making quiz, we have to check this for the quiz. How long time should be given to the student? Usually, I did this many times for the quiz. If I give the 1 hour for the quiz, in the paper-based quiz, offline quiz, if I give 1 hour, this time I found that 1 hour is not enough because the students have sometimes the internet connectivity issues or Moodle errors because sometimes the Moodle error happen. So we have to give some more times. In my experience, I recommend you to give 1.5 times greater than the normal time. If I give 1 hour, maybe 1.5 hours, or maximum 2 hours, that will be enough. So including the slow internet or the Moodle errors, the student can cover it. And flexibility of the timings, it means we don't need to force them to have that quiz exactly 10 o'clock or 12 o'clock, or sometimes one day I try to do it at the specific time, but some of the students that times, because of I don't know, but something happened in their internet, and some of the students has the load shedding or some electricity problem, while the other students were able to start, but some of the students could not start that time. So it creates another problem that I have to allow them to try the quiz again in different timing. Rather than doing this, I made some options. That is flexibility. In the morning, I gave the timing, for example, 9 to 1 p.m., 4 hours, but I can limit the one attempt should be done in 90 minutes or 2 hours. So if I set the time limit 2 hours, whenever they feel free, whenever they feel comfortable to start their work, the quiz, they can start. Some of the students can start 9 o'clock, or some of the students can start 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Anytime they can start, they can continue until time finishes. And within 2 hours, if I set that. So flexibility also can be given, but some people may worry that those students who finish early may give the information to others, but actually that is not for their benefit. If I just ask them, if you give the information to others, you will lose your mark, because the other student will get the better marks than you. So just by this way, just I ask them not to let others know what is content of the quiz, but just I ask them to do so. So after doing this flexible timings options, the student have the less complaint about the connectivity issues, internet issues, or error issues. And more importantly, these two, how many attempts should be allowed, and shall we allow the review options? That is quite important. Why I'm saying this important, please see this as a default setting. This is the errors. Error menu, error screen I captured frequently, or not that frequently, but sometimes you can see, or the student can see this kind of error screen, HTTP error 500 or undefined error, syntax error. It may appear while they are doing the quiz or any other activity there, but just let them know that this is temporal errors. This is not fatal error. This is not permanent errors. After several seconds, maybe 10 seconds or 20 seconds, 30 seconds, if they refresh it, this error will disappear, but they will lose only one question that they are typing. If the question is quite long, maybe they are being saved with a specific interval, but only several sentences or several words that are not saved may be lost, but they will not lose all the answers. So just let them know that this is not fatal. So just they can keep doing this, keep doing the quiz, so that we allow them to continue double times than normals. So we can give the 2 hours, then maybe that will be enough for them. And here, timing, as I told you before, timing settings, we can set the timing start time, for example, 9 o'clock, and closing times, the 1 o'clock. And if I set the 90 minutes, they can start any time between this 9 to 1 p.m., but they have to finish it in 90 minutes, within 90 minutes. That is the quite useful option. And here, the useful option is check this, the shuffle within question. Question number will be shuffled automatically. So the same question number will not appear to another student. So that is the one useful option here. And then here, this is quite important. And when you see the grade, the category, as a default setting, attempt allowed are set as unlimited. And the grading method is set as a highest grade, but you have to change it. This attempt allowed should be 1, or if you want, you can make it 2, but you must not allow it unlimited. So we have to change it to be 1 or 2. It's up to you, but unlimited the attempt is not good to use. And if we use 1 attempt, you don't need to set it, it will be disabled. But if you allow twice, then grading method, it is better to use the average grade. When students try 2 times, then average of the 2 attempts will be made, and then it can be taken for the grade. Here, it is very important to know in the review option as a default, it is already checked in the Moodle. If you do not change it, student will be able to see immediately after their attempt or after finishing their quiz, still that is open. They can see what is correct answer. And because it is set unlimited, if you did not change it, they can attempt it again. And then highest mark will be taken. So be careful. Whenever you make a quiz, all the option of the review option here immediately after attempt and later while the quiz still open, both of them should be unchecked. Otherwise, student has a chance to see the quiz and then they can attempt again and the highest mark will be taken. In the beginning, I didn't know it. So some of the students get very high mark, but those students are not that good students, but they get a very good marks. So I was surprised at times, and I asked another student what happened, and then I realized this. So we have to uncheck all of them. And so there are many options available. So I don't have enough time right now. And useful the quiz mode is the multiple choice and essay. I am mostly using these two, but there are many options. There are many options and many settings you can do. So you can try it, and you can try to do it. And once you start the quiz, you will be able to monitor whether they start the attempt or not. And status will be shown in the Moodle. They begin it. This is in progress, and some of the students already finish it, and they start this timing and this timing, and automatically the questions, the grading is done, and some of them is not done. Then it is shown that it is not graded fully. So when I click this, or when I click review attempt, then we can see this kind of the navigation box. And green color means that it student get a full mark, so correct answer. And orange color means they got the partial mark. So if you design the question well, to be done open book, because we have to allow them to see their materials. We cannot stop them to seeing it. So question should be carefully designed. Then we can make a negative marking as well. And the grade color means that it needs manual checking. So when you click this, you can give the command and you can give the marking for the essay or the short answer question. And then finally, it can be compiled, and then course total can be automatically calculated if you upload or if you finish all the grade component, grade items, and all the data is uploaded, and then course total will be calculated, and then it will be seen as a number. But at the end, as a last one, I want to give you some tip. I send one Excel file to the Suleiman that can be used to convert the data to the hours, the requirement. Actually, this time we have to make our student grade to be higher than C grade. So actually, the original mark can be ranging from 60 or 50, lower than that, and then maybe more than up to the more than 90s. In this example, data is ranging 63 to 96. But when you use this Excel file, and this data can be converted to automatically higher than 70. So the maximum is obtained from here directly, and minimum is obtained from here directly. And when you set in yellow color box, when you manually add maximum, I want to set it to be the same with original maximum, but I want to bring the 60 to the 70. That we have to squeeze this range to this range. So when you use this Excel files linearly, proportionally, the mark will be adjusted, and then due mark will be obtained here. That is just a simple tip that I can provide you. So today, just I prepared up to here, and then if you have any question, I'm happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shinho. You have developed lots of tips, of working around Moodle while you have been tinkering with the LMS, and you have developed great tips. I see that a lot of people in the from the faculty were talking about how shuffling has helped them. They also talked about unchecking of the boxes manually because they are checked by default. When you are doing the quizzes, how to, you should manually uncheck them and only check those that you are eager to deal with. And then I think what the first thing that you talked about was the grade book. And I thought that was amazing because I'd been hearing some concerns with the gradebook usage, which I think you also said that gradebook is a bit difficult to use, but the plus point in the gradebook was that you found that in the aggregation of the data, it was more helpful than other formats, and that make the job easy of bringing all the grades together and combined, like you just said, how it brings it, culmination. I know that there must be some questions from the faculty. There is one question: can we import marks of a specific quiz from Moodle to Excel sheet? I thought it should be the other way around.
Yeah, it is possible.
Yeah,
actually it is export function from Moodle. Then we can download the data, and then we can utilize it in the Excel. It is possible. You can find the export functions. So you can see the menu. Export is from the Moodle. You can export it, and you can bring it to the Excel. You can use it.
So from Moodle, you an Excel sheet, you export. She has thought, can we import? Import would be bringing something into Moodle would be import, right?
Yeah, actually, import, export is in the point of the Moodle. From the Moodles, we can import from Excel, and we can export to the Excel. So in Excel point of view, they can bring the data from the Moodle that can be called the import from the in the Excel, but actually Moodle should export it, right?
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's what Faiza Jamil, does that clarify your query? I think so. Okay, what is the difference and importance between due date or cutoff date given in an assignment, and how can, and then there's another question. If you answer this from Muhammad Khayar Farooq.
A due date is the time that I decide to receive until that time, but still after due date, I can receive, the Moodle system can receive even if it is late. The student can submit it, and then how much they are late, it is mentioned. The system will show that they submitted after due date, after 2 days of the due date, or after 3 days of due date. You can consider the student submitted 3 days late, and then I will deduct some marks, then I can do it. But cutoff day means no more submission is allowed. Cutoff day, I do not receive at all after cutoff days. Okay. If you set the cutoff days, the student must submit before that cutoff days.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so there's a difference. There was also another question, how do we mark attendance on Moodle? And then there are some other questions about, actually, Fariha's point is about export and import of data. She says that the data exported from Moodle to Excel is not sorted in order. Is that so?
No, actually, the sorting can be done in the Excel. So if
Okay.
sorting should be done in the Excel. The Moodle will export it, their data is data, but the sorting can be done
Okay,
according to
index,
the name, or according to the email address, according to
whatever.
the others.
Yeah. So you are saying that even if it's not sorted, then it's easy to sort it out by
Yeah,
whatever order you want,
yeah,
alphabetical or whatever, roll
yeah.
numbers, then it can
Yes,
be done
yes,
in
yes.
the
That is
Excel
Excel
sheet.
function, easy Excel
Yeah.
functions like this.
Okay. There was another question from Muhammad Akhyar. How can we mark attendance on Moodle?
Actually, I was actually disappointed with the attendance function in the Moodle. I was expecting that if the student complete any kind of activity, for example, downloading the material that I uploaded, I wanted that the attendance function will automatically check that the student downloaded that the file. Student doesn't need to be on that times. So anytime during the week that I gave, if student download it, and then I actually expect that the Moodle, the attendance function will check that student is attended. But it is not working in that way. Whenever I see the student do something manually by checking the logging, there is a logging option. Logging is, I can see participants are logged in this time and that time. I have to check the student attendance by myself. So there is no specific benefit to use the attendance in the Moodle function. So because I'm using the Excel sheets to check the attendance. If you want to aggregate the attendance in the Moodle, in the gradebook, you can just use the Excel file, and then just upload to the Moodles, and then you can compile it, you can aggregate it. But for me, I don't use the attendance functions, so it is not that much helpful for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we will have to find another way of doing better attendance record.
Yeah.
Anna Muzalmal made a point of shuffling questions that helped her capture chance of cheating, and I think that's true.
And the question number also can be shuffled, and then choices number in the question also can be shuffled.
Okay, great. There also, I would also at this point, Shinho, like to introduce two of our other ITS, stalwarts. Actually, they have been the heroes for taking this Moodle forward. And one is, all of you know, Shakir. Shakir has been working as a senior manager IT business analyst in the IT office, and he has been at us for a long time, and he has been working with CLT to refine the Moodle interface. But another young person who has joined him, and you all know, is Raheel Robson. I think, Raheel, you have been here since 2016, and you are the one who has largely taken on of the function of deploying Moodle on the FCC server, making several important integrations like Turnitin, and you also recently did the blue button. Welcome, and thank you so much to see you on our screen. It's great. I've been missing you both in person because we have worked a lot and we had lots of fun and along the way. So I'm going to ask all three of you to respond, but my first choice would be Shinho, because he's talking from the point of user as an instructional user. But if there are other points, and if you want to add, please feel free to add to what Shinho has to say after his response. There is another question, Shinho, which talks about enabling JavaScript in quiz. Would you know about that, or do we transfer that to the ITS people?
JavaScripting, I didn't use it.
So over to you, Raheel or Shakir, either of you, if you would respond, how do you enable JavaScript in quiz? That's Adil Amar.
Actually, we can look into this and we can get back to you that how we can actually incorporate the JavaScript into it. So, Adil Saab, I will get back to you. Just give me some time.
Yeah, thank you so much to all of you, because I tell you, when you use it and you come back with queries, that has helped us, that has alerted us to the issues, and that has kept ITS on its toes. And they have responded very promptly. We are very thankful to them. There's another question. Uh, Umar Sharif is saying, can we visit Gradebook once again? So Shinho, you never know, I might be requesting you again to sort of work with us on the grade book, and we could just do the grade book, because I know Bob also commented about being a bit difficult to manage. There is a question by Anam Muzammil. Can we change the settings of quiz once you have launched the quiz, like extended the deadline date, like extend the deadline date? So can we change the settings of the quiz?
Settings, when in the students already begin the attempt, so we cannot add any other question, we cannot change the grade category, but we can actually change the timing. I mean, when we set the, for example, 90 minutes, but the majority of the students think that it's not enough, and please, teacher, give me some more time. Then instructor can extend the time for 2 hours, or while they are doing it, before ending the week, I can set as for 2 hours, maybe more than 2 hours, we can set it. And one more is, sometimes some of the students cannot appear on that timing, and maybe for the 1 or 2 students, if I judge that they have the genuine reason, then we can set for those students to do the quiz activity in the different timing. So we can override general setting to be specific to the specific student. So we can say it.
So Ataur Rahman, you got your answer, I think, to the override question. So that's what Shinho has just explained, that you can override that function for some students if
Yes.
they needed more time because of some problem. There is a question from Nisar Ahmed. He says, I need to know more about open book quiz through Moodle. I think we talked about this in an open book quiz generally in the assessments by, I think, Mevish in the webinar. But he's asking about how do you do it through Moodle? So Shinho, if you could quickly
Actually,
respond.
the open book test is not a function of the Moodle. Actually, it is the designing of the question from the instructor. How we design the question, that is the actual issues. So when we design the quiz well, then we can do it even the multiple MCQs and short answer question and open-ended questions, we can make it there. But for me, I make the MCQs a bit difficult. Usually MCQ has only one correct answer.
Okay.
But I usually make not the many correct answers can appear. It can have the one correct answer, it can have the 2 correct answers, it can have 3 correct answers. There is no limitation of the correct answers. And when students select one of the 3 correct answers, they will get the part mark. When students select some correct answer together with wrong answer, they can get the deduction. We can do it in the Moodles for making the MCQs. So it will become more complex, and then students should be able to see more carefully about that question. And actually, that is not perfect option, but it is quite helpful to make the kind of questions.
So it's very clear that we do not do, it's not open book quiz through Moodle, but that the Moodle has its own quiz formats that you have to follow. And the best way is for the instructor to do questions that demand higher order thinking skills for students and not very easy to complete. That way you keep them at different levels of functioning in terms of their cognitive learning. There is a question from Romel, but I think you answered that is there an option in Moodle to download grades marks in Excel format? And I think that's what you talked about, import and export.
Yeah, already, it has.
Yeah,
Try it.
yeah.
It is simple. Try
Yeah,
it.
you can use the export import functions to take material out of Moodle to another format or to bring in material. Then there is how to enable equation editor, LaTeX, and quiz. Now that has got me. Farheen Ibrahim, please also see how to enable equation, edit, or
If you make
LaTeX in
any
quiz.
equation, if you make any equation through the equation editors, then you just make it as the graphic files, JPG file or any WMF format, any format. You convert it to graphic format, and then you can add it to as a graphic the images. So I sometimes use it. So any kind of the image can be added to the Moodle question, the quiz question. So you can use it.
Okay, excellent. That's another addition of another way of presenting data, and that you can bring it into Moodle apart from just writing and content. There is another, Anna Muzammil. She is one of our, again, a very consummate user of Moodle and technology. Can we integrate rubrics for open book assessments, is a question.
I didn't try to do this, but it will not be that much easy. There may be so many different kind of the different situation may happens, which need the human judgment. so open book questions or like a long essay usually need the manual checking, manual grading. So if you make a fully open book, then need long answers essay, then the automatic grading is maybe will not be easy. There is actually simple short answer question that try to match the short answers. If the student use the specific word, then they can give some grade, but it does not work properly. So even the student use proper that word, but the sentence itself is not making sense, then it is not.
Yeah, because it's not set up for that, it's just the quiz. And so I guess their assignments in some ways would demand a different sort of checking on that. Are there any more questions? And another thing that I would like all of you to consider, I see that a lot of you have asked for if there could be some more session on this. Since this is our last session for before Eid, we are not very sure if we'll be putting up any more unless we get a demand from you. So if you want to leave some topics, I know, Akhyar, you left a topic about a theme on how, because of COVID, how it has affected research and grants. And that we have not addressed because you were the only one who asked for it. But I think me and Suleiman at CLT could look up some materials and help for you. But please, for the rest of you, may I request to leave in as many demands that you want CLA to respond to, and we will do our best to come up with something after Eid, because you have a lot of time yet before we close the semester. And so if you need any help, I know that Sylvia, I wondered why she was quiet. She is always asking questions. She has put in a question: when you make MCQs with more than one correct option, do you inform the students that they can have more than one option?
Yes, actually they should be informed. Yeah. They must be if you think there is a 3 correct answer, you have to select 3 correct answer. If you think there is a 1 correct answer, you have to select 1 correct answer. That kind of instruction is clearly given. So they know that they have to select whatever they want.
Yeah, absolutely. They have to be told. A very interesting question. Is there any way, Sabah Iqbal, that we view the assignments online and not download each assignment? And are you talking about Moodle assignments, or are you talking about general assignments, online assignments? But nevertheless, she says, how do you view the assignments online and not download each assignment? Because it's a Google Doc, I think. You would put it up as a Google
downloading, opening in the the browsers and or downloading it. It is actually the setting in that the browser. It's computer by computer, that is different. Some computer try to download it, some computer try to open it, that is depending on the computer setting. Or sometimes we can force to download some material in that the Moodle upload, but for the submission of the student, usually teacher download that the assignment to the laptop or the PC of the instructor, and they do it. So the just forcing them not downloading it, I don't think so it will work properly. There is always some way to download.
Yeah, but Shakir has another idea. Yes, Shakir?
When you're actually creating an assignment, there is an option of submission type. In submission type, if you select online text and do not and uncheck the file submission, so the students can actually submit the assignment in a text box, and then you don't need to download it. You can grade it on Moodle, so it will not be required to download. So it depends what submission type have you selected. So by default, it is selected on file submission. If you just leave it on online submission, online text submission, then you don't need to download the assignment.
Okay, but have you put it in the Q&A or section in the Moodle somewhere, Shakir?
In the FAQs?
No,
I don't think so. We have put this one, so we can actually put this one.
Yeah, please put this. This is a very relevant question, and I think if it's there, it will make life easy. There is another question about MCQs. I think. No, there is a question from Alvina. In subjective courses where assignment and final works are articles, what do you do then? I mean, if they have assignments that have to be done and academic pieces of writing, then what do you do in that case?
Actually, in my opinion, the Moodle will not be that much helpful at times because the largest part will be done manually, right? So we don't get that much benefit from the Moodle in the case.
Perhaps, Shinho, I do not know, and ITS, Raheel and Shakir, if you could explore an integration of some app, a platform that could actually make assignment, assessment and assignment, could be integrated, and their assessments could be integrated. I think Turnitin is one. I don't know how effective it is, because Turnitin does help in different ways of grading assignment as well, and there is a grade book in Turnitin as well. That perhaps we need to explore a bit more and to see how we can make it helpful for faculty. There is a question on, is it possible, Shinho, that every student, that's Rana Salman Anjum, he's biosciences, right? Life sciences. How is it possible that every student get different MCQs according to how he is solving questions, like it happens in GRE, and then it develops a percentile score? That's a very good point.
I didn't try that, but I didn't try it. But there is actually, I have seen the option that the question can be selected from the question bank. So randomly question can be selected, but I don't know whether the question can be selected randomly to the different student differently. But I saw the menu that the question can be selected randomly through the question bank. If we make the main question, and then question can be randomly selected, but I don't know whether it will go for different than a different question or random selected,
it
but
will go to
the same question. I didn't try.
Shakir and Raheel, any take on that? What would you say? Or you haven't worked that out?
In terms of that, there are methodologies of actually grading the questions in a different way. So I will look how we can actually incorporate the percentile. But I do know that if you have to give random questions, you can create a question bank and then add a random question. So if you have question bank of 20 questions, and you want to randomly assign 10 questions to a student in one quiz, so Moodle will randomly pick up the questions and give it to the students. You will just add a random question, and still they will get 10 questions out of the question bank of 20, and everyone will get different types of questions.
Okay.
This can be
Okay,
done, but
it is possible.
yeah, it is possible.
Excellent. That's good to know. But there is a response to our earlier question on assignments. Remember, we said, how do you import assignments and their assessments into Moodle? Elizabeth has said that you can create rubrics to help with the marking and assignment, though, and that helps. So I think she talked about it in her webinar and how this has to be done. And we did share her PowerPoint on the site that we have listed in the chat box. Please visit that to see more details. Sylvia has something else. Alvina again says that Turnitin also helps to interact with the students. Yes. Sylvia says, I've been trying to set different quizzes and set different types of questions available in the Moodle. Where can I get information on how to set the different type of questions for a quiz? Good one. Sylvia, you always try our brains.
Yeah, this is the beyond my.
Can I ask something? I was just trying to. I'm preparing 2 or 3 quizzes just to finalize things, and there are different types of questions that you can make: an essay, short question, long questions, matching with something, and I came to a point that I don't know which type of question is the most suitable for what I want to do and for the type of question that I have. So is there any video tutorial how to set each one of these types of questions for a particular quiz? That's the question.
I didn't see it. Sorry about it. I didn't see any good material, just the trial and errors. I found something, but I think so you also try to do and trial and errors and trial and errors.
Shakir, do you have something? I'm lazy these days.
Yeah, Shakir, Raheel.
Just a second.
Yeah, I have 2 responses to
yes.
one question about MCQs. Saklan Shah says that you have the option to randomly shuffle the MCQs and even options for each MCQ for each student. And then there is Sabah Iqbal who says that you can randomly select the random questions category for that, and you can create many versions of one category. Wow, our faculty are really up to magic with the Moodle. Those are great responses. Thank you so much. Any more, Shakir?
Yeah, in terms of actually, I think what Ma'am Sylvia is trying to actually get is that, you know, what kind of question category is best for the question. Am I following you correctly? So the type of assessment you want to do, yes. I don't think there is any video on that, but I think I found something somewhere, and give me some time and I can send it to you. I think I did find something somewhere which actually tells you.
This will help us in this time of laziness and of busy with everything else. So make it easier. Thank you.
Sure.
Good. So please, will you post it on the FAQ site on the Moodle? And we wouldn't mind having it with us to post it on our site as well.
Yes. Sure.
There is a question again by Arush. Do we have anyone using workshops as an assessment tool? Arush, could you please clarify that? I didn't understand. Are you saying that you are using some lab experience or practical as an assessment tool, or what? I am sorry, I was unable to understand the question. Shinho, did you understand the last one?
If he means that using the workshop function in the Moodles.
Okay.
But actually the workshop, I think the workshop in the Moodle is not designed to use for grading or the assessment. But in case the instructors hold that workshop and then evaluate their attendant, their participation, how they do that workshop, then they have to do it in another way. But actually, I think it is not designed to use as assessment tools in the Moodles.
Okay.
Is there any
Shakir?
other opinion?
Yeah, Shakir, I think it is a peer assessment tool, Asher says. Shakir, can you talk about it?
Yes, the thing is that while creating the workshop, you can actually, the students can make submissions, and then if the students can make submissions, they can also be graded by the instructor. So
But it is actually
these are not widely used at FCC right now. I think there are only a couple of faculty members who have used it, and I have received some queries with regards to that as well. So and I have responded to it. So that's why I did get a chance to see that the students were submitting their material to the workshops.
Okay. So what do you mean materials? What the written is?
For documents, the documents they were uploading the documents.
So documents could be pictures, could be posters, could
Yeah.
be any graphic material or even written
Yes.
material. Okay.
Yes.
So it's a multimodal where you can submit multimodal assignments and work, and there is a possibility both of peer assessment as well as an instructor assessment. That's what you're saying, right? Okay, great. I think we are done with the questions here. Any last ones? Okay, it says it's a peer assessment tool. Dr. Khalid, there is an option for subscript and superscript for MCQs. Turn on the rich text option. Saklan, you are not talking and you're giving such good feedback. And so I wish you had responded to some of the questions. There are lots of thanks coming in. Shinho, you have done a great job. I'm very, very thankful to you for finding time to put up this PowerPoint and to share your experience with us. I'm especially thankful to our faculty. There have been, I think, around 70 throughout this hour. It was an hour-long session, and even now we have 68, and I thank each one of you for your very rich questions and for your very rich, fruitful discussion that we have had. You have been responding to each other at the same time. You've been asking questions, and then there have been responses coming from some of you. It was a beautiful interaction, and thank you so much. Thank you, Shinho, once again. And thank you, Suleiman. Thank you, Shakir, and thank you, Raheel. Okay, bye-bye.